Hi everyone, it's Jonathan Stevens here, and today I'm going to show you how to use GLOMAP. GLOMAP is basically a layer that you can put on top of COLMAP that will take the structure from motion, the sparse reconstruction part of figuring out where your camera poses are and initial points in a scene. It'll take it from like tens of minutes and hours to down to maybe a minute or seconds, just depending on how big your project is. And I'm going to show you how to quickly install it and run it, and then use that data to train a Nerf using Nerfstudio or 3D Gaussian splatting. So if you just stick with me on this is for Windows only. If you're on Linux, you can probably follow along, but it'll be a little different from you. So let's get started. Okay, so as I said, this is the project page for GLOMAP. Go up to the top, and it talks about how it's going to take input images, and it's going to do this kind of corresponding image search and global estimation. And again, this is showing like you have all these points, figuring out where your cameras belong. And here it is. It's kind of like showing how it all comes together and you end up with this sparse point cloud, and it happens so fast. It'll take way less time than if you run a standard COLMAP, and that's why people are very interested in it. So how do you use this? Fortunately, if you have COLMAP installed, this will be very quick and easy for you to get going. I have created a nice Python script so you don't even have to do a lot of the manual work, and I'll show you how that works. So first off, if you go to the notes to this video, you will see that I have a GitHub project that is linked in there. I will probably have changed the name of some of the things in here by the time you see it, but just so you know, it is my own. So you should see John Stevens 85 in it. Oops, I'm in the preview. So let me just get back to the project. So if you're in here, you'll see the GLOMAP structure for motion revisited, and your standard gets started. And then I have this automated Python scripting, which we're going to get to. But the first thing you need to do is, since this is a layer on top of COLMAP, is that you need to install COLMAP, and then you need to install GLOMAP. Now, if you're on Windows, fortunately for you, this is really easy because they're both pre-built binaries. So there's actually no like true installation. So let me just run you through what you need to do. So the first thing you'll need to do is go to install COLMAP and then say, I recommend doing the pre-built binaries. You can pull the original project page. So if you go up to the top, right click on this and open a new tab, you can go to the original page. You can pull this and you can build it from scratch, but because we have binaries, we're just going to do this. So back to my page, we're going to go to download the pre-built binaries. And then I've tested this extensively with 3.91, but you should be able to use 3.10. I know that they make some updates that only work on 3.11 when that comes out, but for now, let's try the newest one. We're going to go to the one that says CUDA because we want to use GPU acceleration. So we're just going to download this zip folder. Again, if you have installed COLMAP, skip this part and go to the next part in the chapters I added to this video on how to install GLOMAP. So there we go. So now it's downloading. It'll download this zip folder. So now I got that downloaded. It'll be the zip file. You're just going to do your standard extraction. I've already done that. And then you're going to take that extracted folder and you're going to want to put it somewhere. For me, it's I put it in somewhere you won't forget it. So I put it in my user folder. And again, I use 3.91, but if you see in here, I have this COLMAP 3.91 Windows CUDA. This is what we're looking for, this folder. Just put the extracted folder somewhere on your desktop. And then we need to add it to path. So if you go to your search and you start typing in environment, you'll see this edit and system environment variables, go to environment variables, and then go down where it says system variables. And then further down, you'll see a path right here. Double click on path. And then we need to add a new entry. So I hit new. Actually, what I'm first going to do is actually come to your file explorer. You're going to go to the COLMAP folder. You're going to go to the top level here and just copy this. You're going to copy this path. So like here, control copy, and then you're just going to hit new and paste it in. You notice I already did that. So, and once you're done, you just hit OK. I'm going to cancel out of this because I already did it. Hit OK. And then you have it installed. You should be able to know you have, that's for COLMAP, have it installed correctly by then typing in COLMAP. Oh, geez, that doesn't work. So just go to the GUI. It should launch the GUI. If it doesn't launch the GUI, then you know you have something wrong. And then you can also go up to here to help and go about. And then I guess that's where you can see your COLMAP version. So you know you got the right one. So you just want to quit this. That's an easy way. So now we're going to install GLOMAP. GLOMAP is basically another layer that runs on top of COLMAP. So go back to my GitHub page. We're going to go to install GLOMAP. And they have an official release page. This time I'm going to open it in a new tab. There's only 1.0 for this. You might see 1.1 something later on. We're just going to get this, again, the Windows zip. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to download it. You'll get this nice, you're going to get this nice GLOMAP x64. I'm going to extract that to the same folder that I put the first one in. So if I go to my user folder, so now I have a GLOMAP x64 Windows folder and a bin subfolder. And you're going to take this bin subfolder and copy this. And then we're going to go back to, I closed it, my environment editor. You're going to go back to path. And then you're going to click new again and put in that next one. So that bin folder. And you can see I actually have it right here. So I'm not going to actually save it or else it'll confuse things again. But now that's in my path. I have now COLMAP and GLOMAP installed. Okay, so you can also go again to your command prompt if you want to check out the, make sure that you have GLOMAP in there correctly. You just type in GLO and then MAP and then -H to get like the help text. And if you're getting that output, then you know it's in there correctly. And as you can see, the usage is really tiny because there's not much to it. Okay, so now we got this all good. Now we need an image folder. We need a folder of images. Before I get this video up, I'll probably have hosted some of my own images you can go download to try this. I'm just going to show you one of mine right now. It's I have a GLOMAP test folder. And if I go to this one and I go to my input, I have these images. And so let me just pull them up on the screen. And what you want is images around like a single point. See, they're not necessarily in sequence, but they are just going around this building that's varying heights. What you don't want is to like extract images and then have the images have barely any spacing. So let me pull up an example of that. So if I pull out maybe this one. Yeah. So if I go like this one, notice like each image barely moved. I find that it works better and you have less failure rate if there's like several more degrees of separation between each image. So instead of taking like 1,000 images to go around a stockpile, you should only take like 50 images or less. So it should be like definitely a couple degrees of rotation between images. And you can play around with that. I'll show you how you can test for that. So we're going to got that. I'm just going to close that out. And so now how do I use this darn thing? So I made things easy for you. There's a standalone use. If you've already run COLMAP, you could pick it up and run on top of that. I'm going to skip this right here. But basically, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the manual GLOMAP usage first, just to kind of give you an idea what's happening. And then I'm going to show you how you can automate this all in my Python. So if you come to here and you go to, you want to run this from images, you have to run COLMAP first. And you're just going to copy this COLMAP feature extractor like so. And by the way, you can skip this if you don't want to go straight to automation with Python, but I think some people like this. So I'm going to run this COLMAP feature extractor, say, here's my image path, like so. And then I can give it some images. So for this example, I'm going to go to this Academy one that I showed you of that building. I'm actually going to delete out all this other data, like so. And just kind of these input images, like so. I'm just going to drag that folder straight into my command prompt. Make this big for you guys. So it's saying, here's my image path. Then I got to go back down, and then I got to say a database path, like so. And that database path does not exist. So we're just gonna create one if we give it like an empty path. So I'm just gonna go to this top level folder, this Academy, like so, / and type in database. It has to be called this .db, like so. And then the last thing you got to do, oh, that's it. And then we're done. So I'm just gonna run this. This doesn't take more than a few seconds. It's gonna run through all these 77 images. And it's doing what's called feature extraction. Now I'm going to do this matcher. So we're going to type in COLMAP. It's going to tell you to use exhaustive matcher. That's going to take too long. If you have a bunch of photos taken in sequence, you're going to want to use this sequential matcher that's down here. Use exhaustive matcher if you have a bunch of random images not taken one after another. So bam, like that. And we got to give it this database path. So this, I'm going to copy, paste, and then I can actually go back up if I want. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I actually have a database now. So I'm just going to go to my folder here. See, there's a database file now. Just going to throw that in there. You enter. It's going to run. Again, this is going to be really fast. That's the whole thing about this. It should all be fast. With automation, I do this whole entire thing in 32 seconds. So there they go. And then the last thing we need to do, go back up. Sorry, I'm jumping around fast. Is GLOMAPper. So now we're going to run actual GLOMAP, not COLMAP. So it's GLOMAP mapper. So we're running the mapper tool. Again, we need that database. We need to make sure that there is a space between mapper and database, like so. And then we're going to pull in that database. And then we're going to go to our image path. I believe, right? Yeah, image path. And we're going to say that input folder, right? And then we need dash dash. Oh, shoot. I just copy and paste. Always copy and paste if you don't remember. Output path. So it's telling us to put it in a sparse folder. I do recommend to use this for later on. So go here, output path, and I'm actually going to use the same folder like so. And I'm going to say sparse. But first, I'm going to make sure that sparse directory exists. So create a new folder, call it sparse. Again, my automation does all this for you. Enter, and now it's going to run. And it is just flying through this already. If you're going to have an error, it's going to happen here, where it says running global positioning. If you have like too many tightly spaced images or a lot of standing rotation, this is where it's going to fail. You'll start to see a bunch of failure things, 5 in a row, and then it'll say it's exited. But if it goes past that to bundle adjustment, you know you're good. So let's go in retriangulating, running bundle adjustment. If you've done structure from motion, you know exactly what this all is. If you don't worry, no one cares, unless you really want to get into the nerdiness. So it's done. It'll say export to COLMAP reconstruction done. So what does that mean? Now you got this database, you got this sparse output, and you got this input. So you got your images. And I want to visualize this. So what I can do is I can tell it how to visualize. So they have instructions for that. So I'm going to do this here. It's going to be COLMAP GUI import path. And then that path is going to be, go to my folder. It's that sparse 0 folder where you have your cameras, your images, and your points, like so. And then let's go back here. And you want to look at image path and database path. That's right. So we got image path. That should be image underbar path. I probably put that in wrong in the instructions. So image path, we're going to want that to be this input folder. And then dash dash database path. And then we're going to want it to be the database. Bam. Enter. There you go. It's all visualized. Hold Control and scroll wheel will make your dots a little bigger. Alt, scroll wheel will change the size of your camera positions. And you can see roughly there's that building. Make it nice and big. Make it a little smaller there. And you can see it ran really fast. That was really fast. Really quick. So I love that. So that's how you run it manually. I hope that you kind of skipped over this. Now, if I just want to show you how to do this, I want to do this really fast. So I'm going to take this input, data sparse, and let's just say it's not called input I want to show you something cool. I'm going to call this folder photos. So we have our photos of this academy, like so. We can run it on that using a Python script that I have created and make your life super easy. So if you don't want to download this whole GitHub repository, which I don't think you really need to, you can go to the top here where it says run GLOMAP Py, open it up. You see all this code. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know anything about it except for you can just go and you can download that raw file. So now I got that glomap.py like so. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put somewhere that I know where it is. So I'm just going to cut it. And for me, I'm going to go to my user folder. You could You could go put it in that GLOMAP folder. But I actually have a GLOMAP test folder. I'm just going to put here. Actually, as you can see, I already have it there. So I'm not going to replace it, but it's right there. As long as it's somewhere you know. And then you're just going to come back to your command prompt, and you're going to type in Python. So I assume you already have Python installed if you've been doing this sort of stuff. And then you're just going to drag this in. And so what you're, Python, drag it in. And it's going to say, okay, run Python on this script. And the only thing you need to do, if you want to actually know what you can do, you can just hit -H, and it'll tell you like what you can do. But we're just going to type in our image path, which we used when we did the manual. And then we're going to go to this folder, Academy again. And it's this image folder. So bam, throw that in there, hit enter. It's going to do your feature extraction. And it's going to use the GPU to go as fast as possible. It's going to do your feature matching. Again, I didn't have to manually type in the next thing. Now, notice it's running my poses, which is really cool. And it's just going to keep going. So let's give this a second. While it's running, the one thing I have added that I'll probably add as a flag eventually to not have it run, but it's going to run a little text file at the end, and it'll tell you how long this whole thing took to run. So you can do a little bit of testing to see how long it took versus, let's say, COLMAP, something else. But again, I told you this took, 32 seconds. We'll see how long it took when I'm running a video recording and everything. 38.58 seconds. So if I go here to run COLMAP, I can open this up, and it'll tell me it took 3.38 seconds to run the feature extractor, 5.43 seconds to run sequential mapper, under 30 seconds to do the sparse, which is ridiculous. And then I had it undistort the images, and so in total it took less than 40 seconds. Super fast. This is what I love. And so now it's done. These images are ready to go for using it in original 3D GS. So now you see you have this distorted folder. It actually created a couple different databases, one with like distorted images, and then it took these images that you put in the photos folder, and then it actually undistorted them into this images folder and did all this cool stuff. So from here, let's just say I want to run this in 3D.js, and you know what you're doing here. So at this point, if you want to go to Nerfstudio or see the different modifiers, skip to the next section. But at this point, I'll show you how to use this and get this for Nerfstudio. So, for 3D.js. So I want to change directories to my Gaussian splatting, and then I want to conda activate Gaussian splatting. I'm guessing you guys know what you're doing if you've used this before. And then all I have to do now is do Python train.py/s, I believe. And then you just need to tell it where that is. I'm just going to double check that. If I go here, running Python train-s path to COLMAP, that should be it. So then it should just be this folder. So should just be this top folder. I see what I did wrong. I probably need to fix this script. So this should have this as 0 folder. So by the time you run this, this should be right. You should have just been able to run that just like this. Drop that in there. I just need to update my Python script. But here we go. Go run it, and it starts training. So there you go. And it's going, it's running. If we wait just a second, you'll see it starts the project. There you go. So your data is ready to go, and it'll run completely to 30,000 steps or whatever you want to do. At that point, you're just running Gaussian splatting. So I'm just going to quit this. I'm going to conda deactivate. And I'll get rid of that and cd back down to my user folder. And so now I have all this stuff. Let's just say I want to do this differently. Let's just say I still got this photos folder and I run it for Nerfstudio. I can run this again. So I can come to my Python script, and I'm just going to do the Python. If you hit up, it'll bring your past your past runs up. So here it's going to say Python, run GLOMAP, image path. And then if you go to my instructions for GLOMAP, you get back to the front page, you'll see I have some modifiers. So here we go. Image path, that's required. Matcher type. You can say exhaustive matcher. What that will do is, again, I could say dash dash matcher type and say exhaustive. And it'll run exhaustive instead of sequential. Know what you're doing when you run that. But what I do like, if I come here, is then I can say I want model type. So I'm going to copy this model type. And I want this to be Nerfstudio. Okay, so now it's going to run. We're going to run this again. So now what's going to do, it's going to run basically the same thing it did before, except for it doesn't run what's called image undistortion at the end. So that undistortion is taking your images and it's undistorting it. Well, Nerfstudio is going to do that for you, and it's part of their NS prep data. So if we go to their, and I'll add some of this stuff to probably my GitHub instructions, but if I go to Nerfstudio, actually we didn't even need to do that. Let me go back. This is running. I'll show you how to look it up, what you're supposed to type in Nerfstudio, just so you don't have to go to their documentation. Okay, so it's almost done running. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. And, okay, so it's done. 42 seconds. Okay, so here we go. Coming down to here, you don't have as many files. That's what I expected. But I want to run COLMAP. I want to run Nerfstudio. So I'm going to go change directory to Nerfstudio. I'm going to con to activate Nerfstudio. And then I want to use NS process data. I actually want to run that. And then I want to do images because we have a folder of images, right? So then I can type in -- help, and it's going to tell us what we need to do to use these. So we've run COLMAP, so we don't have to run COLMAP again, which is awesome. Or we've run GLOMAP instead of COLMAP, which is really going to give us the same data. So now I got this. Just going to say NS process data. I'm going to go to data. The data is the images folder. So photos, like so. And then if you go up, it'll show we need an output directory, like so. And so I'm going to do that. Oops, I can have an extra double dot. Output directory. I'm going to create a new output directory for that. So I'm going to call it new folder NS data, like so. And I'm just going to drag that in there. And then as I go along a little bit further, we're going to skip COLMAP because we don't need it. So this skip COLMAP, like so. This, and then we need COLMAP model path. So for that will be in this distorted sparse 0 folder. So bam, like so. Hit enter. Probably messed up something here. Oh, I see. My model path, I don't have a space. Right, one more time. It's going to copy images. Bam, there you go. Now it's done. So now if you want to run NS train, you basically run that. So now you no longer have to, you don't have to then, you're all ready to go. So if you've trained your data, you're ready to go. I'm not actually going to kick it off, but now your data is ready to go. You can run it just like normal is a Nerfstudio using Splatfacto, Nerfacto, whatever you want from there, just to show you how it's done. So there you go. There's 2 ways to run it. There's one more thing I want to show you. Okay, I want to show you one more cool trick. So if I have like this stockpile folder where I have 600 something images, I can go and run my Python script. Python, I'm going to go to my GLOMAP. So, -- image path. And throw the images in there. And so, and I can what's called an interval. So I can say interval. And instead of using every image, I want to say this, I want to use every 6th. So I'm only using like 100 of them. So I can say interval 6. And what it will do so fast, creates an input folder, and it's taken every 6th image. Notice there's a lot more rotation between images. I'm just going to run this whole matcher on those 100 images instead of 600. This is a good thing to play with. So if you find that like it's crashing because you got 1,000 images and each image barely has anything that has changed, try it again like this. Try it with interval at 2 or 4 or 6, and keep increasing that number until you get one that works. I promise it'll work if you just have like a lot of tightly spaced images, and it'll run it. So here it is. It's running the undistortion. All right, so it finished. It looks like the undistort image was failed. I don't know why. I have a couple of bugs in here. That's the last thing I'm worried about is undistortion. You should be able to run this without that. But it ran everything. I got my sparse. Actually destroyed here. You'll see you got your sparse. You got 0, you got your camera bin. It ran properly. It looks like it when it tried to run the undistortion on this, it messed up. I will go figure that out. But just so you know, that is how you run this. It's pretty darn easy to run. So if you see some bugs, please go up to the top here and you can leave comments on this video. You can ask questions in the project, whatever you need to do to get some help. I'm going to jump in there and try to help as much as I can. Anyways, so that's how you run it. There's a few things you can run in and look in here. There's some sample data sets you can download of theirs. This South building is a good one. Play around with. You'll know that'll work for sure. And let me know how it goes. Look forward to seeing how you guys use this script and if it's helpful. And leave a comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video.